Hello Rajiv Kamal here from Mirasangi.com and a warm welcome to you once again on our show Chat in Chai.
Thank you, Kawalji. Pranam. How are you?
Very well, thank you Rajiv Pranam. And we just have a few queries here today. And before I proceed to take on the queries, just wanted to ask you if you would like to share any updates with us about the immigration reforms bill.
Um, what is going on right now is the bottom line is there is an expectation that by May or June we might have movement on immigration reform, but the news from last night was that what the Republicans are doing is because they are all up for re-election this year, they are
Mm-hmm.
going to tentatively kind of dip their toes in the water and see what the voters want them to do. So they are going to announce some kind of principles of immigration reform and kind of wait for their constituents to respond to the principles. And if there's a lot of hue and cry against immigration reform, then it will not go forward. If there is support, then it will go forward. Still up in the air. We don't quite know how it's going to play out. But by May or June, things should be much clearer. And within the next day or two, we should have the quote unquote principles of reform.
All right. Now, Rajiv we move on to some queries sent in here by our listeners on Mirasangeet.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one here is by a listener, Nasreen, says, Hi Kamal, good morning. I have an immigration question for my brother. He was here on business visa B-1 for 2 months, August and September 2008. In the same year, we filed for his H-1 and got it in the quota, but we never used it and now it is expired. The question is, he is now in India and wants to work here. Is there a way to get him here on business visa and then switch it to H-1? Or do we have to get his stamping done in India before he comes here on H-1? Or is there a better way to get him here? I'm not having green card to sponsor him.
B1 to H1 is a bad idea
Mm-hmm.
because government can take the position that you committed fraud in that you told us you're going to go for a short trip on a B1, but your intention was to always convert to an H1. Government
Okay.
doesn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a visa stamp is the way to go. There's a lot that I don't know about this case. For instance, do we know when was the H1 approved?
She says he was on business visa B-1 for 2 months. That was in August and September 2008. In the same year, they filed for H-1 and had got it in the quota, but they never used it and it
Okay.
got expired.
Okay, well, they have two choices. Either they can go for H1 without a quota
Okay.
and um, get, I guess, 3 years remaining on the H1. In
Mm-hmm.
other words, they can be quota exempt. This is called remainder option. They might be able to get more than 3 years, but that's it's a little bit difficult to judge. I know a lot of facts are not quite known. Um,
Okay.
the second option is, of course, in April they can apply for an H1 under the quota. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
to answer the bottom line question, B1 to H1 conversion is not a good idea. But do remember, getting visa stamping is also not easy, especially if you have client side deployment. If you're working in house, visa stamping is a little easier.
All right. Okay. Now we move on to another query here sent in by a listener. Rajuji says, I'm here on H1B and I'm looking at quitting my job very soon to leave the country. I'm aware there is no grace period for quitting on an H1B and I don't have a choice but to work till the last day. I do, however, have a tourist visa that is valid until 2016. Can I quit my job earlier and still stay a week on the account of the tourist visa to pack up and leave? Or would the tourist visa have to be activated only by re-entering? This is something like a similar question we had last week as well.
Yes, it has to be activated. Or what you can do is, before you quit work, you can go online and file Form I-539 with the government, requesting that they give you a change of status to um, tourist visa or tourist status. And it takes them a few months to act on that request. If the request is timely filed before the H1 is discontinued, you can continue to wait for the request to be acted upon. And if you leave too early, let's say you file the tourist change of status, and then you leave after 3-4 weeks while the application is still pending, the application that you filed would be deemed abandoned, but your stay in the United States would not be illegal. It would be authorized period of stay because you were waiting for a decision on a timely filed application.
All right. So these were the two queries we've got this week, Rajivji, from our listeners.
Very well, Kamalji. Good talking with you as always, and good hearing from all our listeners.
Thank you, Rajivji, for sparing your time and for being a part of our show today.
My
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Every other Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we host free community conference calls. Everybody is welcome to join. Some people post questions ahead of time. You can take membership in our forums. All of the details are there on our website, immigration.com. You can take membership ahead of time, and it's instantaneous. It happens right away. And post your questions beforehand, or you can just log in. The phone number and all are provided: 202-800-8394, 12:30 Eastern Standard Time every other Thursday. We have free apps for both Apple iOS platform for your iPhones and iPads, as well as for Android. Just look for immigration.com, the period dot, and the application should show up.